I got some good. An unlawful divorce is hitting modern women where it hurts. Video from the modern king. The link for the original video is in the description section. Guys, subscribe to the channel. I'm Benzo. Let's get it.
Conservatives are targeting divorce as the next avenue to curtail women's freedoms. Let me explain. The US uses a no-fault divorce system, meaning that you don't have to prove to a judge that you deserve a divorce. So like Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas can divorce for irreconcilable differences. Our legal system assumes that it's not a good idea to force people to stay in marriages that they're unhappy in.
Our legal system also assumed people would be responsible with no-fault divorce, but they aren't.
But it wasn't always that way. Once upon a time, you would have to prove to a presumably male judge that you deserved to get a divorce. And this was particularly harmful for women who initiate nearly 70% of divorces.
And why do women initiate 70% of divorces? Because they feel unsatisfied, not because their husbands are harming them like she's claiming.
Sometimes it's just a thing. They feel like they'll be more happy when they are single. Older women that are not married, some who are divorced, they are advocating for younger women that are in marriages to divorce. The other reason is because it's a business model for them. It's a ticket for them to get rich. They are looking at the balance sheet like, if I divorce him now, I'll be able to get this much for me.
All right, so some conservatives, like Texas Republicans, are trying to scale back that no-fault divorce system because they're saying accessible divorce is just ruining the institution of marriage. We've got all of these people just getting divorces over small irritants that they should just work out.
Everything was fine except he was too nice.
I had this friend some years back. She was my best friend in the whole wide world. We hung out constantly. I enjoyed her company. Highly intelligent woman, quite attractive, married. Husband is very attractive, very successful. Not only did he provide for his family, she didn't work, but he cooked, he cleaned, took care of the kids. He was emotionally open and available. Every time I'd come over and hang out with both of them, you know, he was so talkative and emotive and empathetic. I thought, wow, they're the perfect couple in my opinion. Two beautiful teenage children, perfect life.
Right.
I used to drop things off at her house. She would tell me, oh, can you drop this off? And I would go over and he would be in the house cleaning. I mean, Ajax and Pine Sol and Windex and mops out. And he would ask me, you know, Demi, how does everything look? Do you think she'll be happy? Is this up to a woman's standards? Cleanliness.
By the way, men go above and beyond just to make women happy in these marriages. They do everything in their power to make sure that the marriage works. You know, they provide financially. They also help out on these other things and chores at home to make sure that things are good. You know, the reason why they're not working out, the marriages are not working out, men are not to blame. Mostly the women.
You know, he said, I just love her so much. And I would say, wow, you know, you're really incredible. Of course she's going to be happy. You know, you did an amazing job. You always do an amazing job. The relationship with my friend, something started changing in her. You know, she started talking to me about depression, and she's overweight and she didn't like it. And it never bothered her husband. I mean, he adored her no matter what, but she started complaining about her weight and this depression and saying that she needs to go to therapy. Which she did. She found a therapist and started going. But after she started going to therapy, I noticed there was a dramatic change in her. She started complaining. After these sessions, she would begin complaining more and more about her husband and how he's making her miserable. And I would say to her, what do you mean? This is all of a sudden new for you since you started seeing this new therapist. So I started inquiring about the therapist. You know, what are her beliefs? And she said, oh, she's very feminine.
The same therapist, like, have you ever met a therapist that is happy? Like, when you look at the side of life. Like, does she have a husband? Has she been married for so many years? Does she have like kids? Most of these therapists out there are women that have never been married, are women who don't believe in having children, are women that they are anti everything that any woman wants to live a successful life while married. They are opposite of that. And they are not happy people.
I knew I deserved better. I knew that I gave him so many chances, more chances than what he needed. On my way back to the hotel room, and long and behold, there was this fine, beautiful black man. There was this fine and beautiful black man. I swear, I thought like God himself has sent me this guy. Oh my God, he's tall, fine, beautiful, beautiful teeth, smell good. Like I was like sitting in the back of him, I can just smell like the cologne like just coming my way. Anyways, so I started talking to this guy, and he had some nice conversation in the first, couple of minutes. I'm smelling his cologne. It was some very good conversation. And so at that moment, I decided, you know what? You are overdue on intimacy, love, and everything else. Because at this point, I was done with my husband. Didn't care what the thought about me. Didn't give zero whatsoever. And so, you know what? I hung out with this tall, beautiful black man, and I had the best time of my life. I deserved it all. And that's when I cheated on my narcissistic husband.
The issue is a man can do everything right, but if the wife wants a divorce, for whatever reason, he is going to be the one held responsible for it. Even though he did nothing wrong, he's going to be the one paying up.
How foolish she was. She sacrificed the, like more momentary thing. She threw away the marriage just to have a few hours of her feeling on top of the world. She had to cheat, and she didn't even give a thought about what the husband would think about that or how he would react. She never cared. I'll tell you this, if you're a guy married to such type of woman, you're supposed to be careful, run for your life, because she's very dangerous. Somebody that won't care about whether you've been married for so many years, like what you have at that moment, she's just willing to just throw it away so that she can feel some type of way. But guess what? I'll tell you, I can assure you, maybe she's regretting now for making such decisions, because for her to be able to talk freely like this and make videos about it, the husband found out and he divorced her. That's the reason why she's feeling or she's too open about it.
One senator even suggested that people should just stay in unhappy marriages, even violent ones, for the sake of children.
If you're going to blatantly lie about what the article says, don't show it right behind you. He never said that, and the article clearly states seem to suggest.
Also claim that accessible divorce is actually bad for women because it makes men more likely to cheat on us. If you listen closer, their real problem is women having agency and having power and being able to make decisions without a man's permission.
If you stop trying to be a victim, you would realize the real issue is women being rewarded financially for breaking their marriage vows at the cost of the husband who didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, and one other thing. Let's talk about the fact that there are a record amount of single men right now, and women still initiate 70% of divorces, which really isn't that surprising because men are far more likely to cheat, far more likely to physically and sexually abuse their partner, and they are far less likely to do domestic and emotional labor, even when the woman is the breadwinner.
Lesbian relationships have the highest divorce and domestic abuse rate. Regardless, men and women cheat around the same rate. Men are not far more likely to physically abuse their partners. And while men might not clean the house as often, they do other things like cutting the grass, fixing the house, the cars, and taking out the trash.
Talking about cheating, like how many men are out there are raising children who are not theirs? There are no women out there that are raising kids that are not theirs and they don't know about them. They care about those kids. She doesn't know that these are my biological kid or this is my biological child she cares for. You find there's zero women out there But how many men out there are victims of women cheating? So the result here is different. I'm not saying that men cheating is okay, women cheating is okay. I'm just saying that the result of that, when a woman cheats and when a man cheats, is different altogether. A woman can decide to say, you know what, this is your kid, I'm not gonna raise your kid. She has a choice. Men out there don't have a choice. They are raising kids that they don't know about. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this topic. It's a sensitive one, I know. And don't forget to subscribe.
Okay, so let's just put all the pieces together here. We've got a record amount of single men because women are like, I don't really need this. And at the same time, predominantly male legislators are trying to reinstate laws that have historically been used to trap women in marriages. They're eroding reproductive rights and trying to create obstacles to obtaining a divorce.
There's a record amount of single men because they don't want anything to do with you. There is a reason men are going out of America to find women, but no man is coming to America to find women.
All right, ladies, if you're a stay-at-home mom and your backup plan in case of divorce is your ex-husband is going to pay alimony and child support, listen up. When I filed for divorce for my ex-husband, he was making over $200,000 a year. I kicked him out in October of 2018. He paid me nothing.
This is what they are truly upset about. Laws making it harder for them to use divorce as a retirement plan.
The day after Jake's wages got garnished for that $3,600, he began telling people inside of the company, there's about 300 employees, that he was going to get fired. If you quit your job, that's different than if you get fired. So 2 days after the only time that Jake's wages were ever garnished, he went into work that day, got into a huge fight with the main owner of our family business, who's a family member, right in front of all of the employees, told him to f*** off, called him a f***. I have this in affidavits. Got all crazy. He was like pushing chairs around and stuff. So that family member had to fire him, didn't have a job. And when we were in court last week, he submitted papers saying that he earns between $1,400 and $1,700 a month. As a grown man with no disabilities, with a career history of 6 figures.